Lucknow slippery giants. Yes, that's what it was. Yeah. They started solid, looked like qualifying 3 years in a row would happen for them. But then it kind of just fell apart, right? The losses became big. They were the defending champions in a way, right? They were champions of defending, right? And then they started losing games, and then they lost big games, and then they lost confidence, and then it just didn't seem like they could win.
They just did a Rajasthan Royals, just gone.
Yeah.
So at that point, at one point, they are 6-7 wins. They're just literally a couple of wins away from qualifying, and suddenly, it's not happening.
7 and 5.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Yeah.
And they had who, to my mind, is one of the great T20 players of our times now in Nicholas Pooran. And Nicholas Pooran batted too little. But I mean, that's their plan. I mean, I asked KL Rahul at the presentation right at the end, and he said because we had the power of Stoinis at the top, we wanted to have the power of Pooran at the end, and that's a call they take. That's a call they understand. But they just didn't have someone who was going to grab by the scruff of the neck. Something we said earlier about another team too. They didn't have that. I'll come. I'm taking you ahead.
They're Indian players. They didn't get much from their Indian players as well.
They didn't get much from the Indian players. I think that's the big thing, that for them, Ayush Wadoni has been now for the last 3 years, he's been, again, showing you something, tantalizing you, then going away. Okay, Deepak Hooda has not cut it for me. Because Deepak Hooda has got immeasurably good opportunities at the top of the order and he's not done it for them. Devdutt Padikkal, I'm really confused about, because, see, they had done something for a particular reason. They had traded for Devdutt Padikkal for Avesh Khan because they said KL Rahul is batting at 5. Okay, and Devdutt Padikkal is going to open with Quinton de Kock, and that's how they'll do it. So we'll give away Avesh Khan, though he's a good bowler. We'll trade him. Devdutt Padikkal comes in. Justin Langer comes in around the same time. If you remember, Gautam leaves, Justin Langer comes in. Justin Langer probably tells KL Rahul, look, I need you at the top of the order. You're my gun opening bat. You've scored all your runs out here. So he goes back there. Devdutt Padikkal now has nowhere to go. So they put him at 3. He doesn't work out there. They move him around. Quinton de Kock has a terrible season. So their only pluses are Stoinis doing well at 3, which I think he got a century. He did something out there. And obviously Nicky Pooran. But I completely don't buy this theory of having power at the bottom. Nobody nowadays, everyone says you finish the match when you have the number of balls.
Go. Correct. You see Sunrisers Hyderabad and KKR, they're breaking the back of the chase in the power play. Right? It's better do it now than leave it for later.
Nicholas Pooran has got a lot of breathtaking 60s. Two of them could have been breathtaking hundreds. And he's that kind of player. Nicholas Pooran is an incandescent talent. He can give you hundreds. So I still think coming back next year, if they have the option of retaining, they will play Pooran at 3, and someone will shake KL Rahul once more and say, Rahul, come on, go, man. God has blessed you. Nature has blessed you.
I'm wondering whether he'll stay.
Wait a second. Yeah, that's the question I'm asking. Because
is he happy?
I'm just saying what is played out. Now, we obviously haven't heard it. It's what we saw, and there was a big outcry about why the owners having that kind of a conversation in physical tonality, I guess, whatever body language everyone can read. And that became the raging fire at the time. And then there was, obviously you could tell that affected the team, because then there was kind of course correction and they kind of, went out of their way to show that all is hunky-dory. And while that may be okay for social media, but the way they were playing after that, it looked like somehow the wind had just been sucked out of the sails.
Exactly. They look like a bottle of soda that's been left open.
Flat, absolutely flat.
Yeah. That's what it looked like. And again, I remember, when they started, you remember when Marcus Stoinis was their second drafted player, and there was one game where he came to bat at number 8.
Yes.
And we kept thinking, have they forgotten
that was a couple of years ago. Last year? Was it last year?
This was the first season, I think.
Yeah, might have been.
And you kept thinking, are they being like too Lucknowi? Is Marcus Stoinis being Pehle up? Please, everyone go ahead of me. And this year they did that with Nicholas Pooran. So somehow, you felt like there were just things not coming together. At Lucknow, it just felt, it's how you just feel like, it's just a little out of sync. It's just not. It's just not fixing.
Also, see, when we first saw this Lucknow team, which has been picked 3 years back, if you look at it, that was the major auction which they came in. What was their formula? Their formula was a very actually CSK type of formula.
It was.
Lots of all-rounders. Lots of all-rounders play around. Deepak Hooda, Kunal Pandya, Marcus Stoinis, everyone can bowl, give you a bait, your top order batsman is a keeper. So that's how they organize their team. But what's happened is, I feel they've shuffled that deck so much that nobody has settled into position. So other than KL Rahul opening, no other Indian batter knows where he's batting. Just see who is the batting at what.
Could not agree more. Could not agree more. But if I'm LSG, I'm looking at that side and I say, is there a core that I can put together to go and win? And I still think the answer is yes.
Yeah.
I will look at Mayank Yadav, I will look at Mohsin Khan, I will look at Arshad Khan, and I'll say I've got three names that very few others have. I've got a Indian fast bowling core that nobody else has. So I would stay with that. I'd say, can I find out what made Bishnoi tick towards the end of the season? And I would then tell Bishnoi, go home every day, take 20 catches and come.
Yeah.
Because there's a wonderful fielder who's suddenly forgotten how to field.
Yeah.
I mean, do you remember Bishnoi taking all those incredible catches?
Yeah.
And suddenly he's putting them down?
But 2 years back, he'd drop only easy catches. He'd take the difficult ones.
This year also, the one of Kane Williamson that he took. Do you remember that one? Stunner.
And then
And
suddenly
then
he's putting them down.
just,
Yeah. So I've got KL Rahul there. I don't know if he's going to stay. I just love Joy's opt-out clause. I've been telling it to everybody I meet.
Yeah.
But if they can retain KL Rahul, they can retain Nicholas Pooran. They've got the fast bowling core. Now they've got to ask themselves, what is the air? Because this team has to have that fizz in it. And LSG hasn't got that little fizz. Was it an exciting team this year? Yeah. Was it? No, correct.
Yeah, that's what has happened. It's kind of just, it looked like I think Harsha put it really well, it looked like a bottle of soda that had been left open for too
The
long.
only time they looked exciting was in Mayank Yadav.
Yeah.
That's it.
There's 155 rockets. Love them. Love them.
Yes. Every Aussie that I have met, and you know, every year the IPL is like Serengeti in July. It's the great crossing. All the Aussies come to India in April and May. All the Aussies.
I'm going to use that somewhere.
All the Aussies come to India.
Yeah.
Every Aussie I've met has asked me only one question. This November, December, when India's test team is in Australia, are you bringing that kid? There's something about 150 plus that excites people.
Yeah.
Umran Malik excited us. He didn't grow. He didn't become the player that we thought he could, but he still got it.
Yeah.
You can't say we've lost Umran Malik, but this kid just look after. I mean, they sent him to South Africa to work with Morne Morkel. Just work on his body. This kid is going. If he
Preserve him. Put him in cotton wool, right? He's a national
It's going to be a
treasure.
test case for India.
Yeah, it'll be really good.
Can India develop fast bowling? It's going to be a test case for India, this kid.
Brilliant. What about player to retain for you? Indian and a foreigner.
I'm just going to be cheeky. I'm going to go Nicholas Pooran, Mayank Yadav.
Okay, that's good.
Let's look at that list again. Can you imagine? Otherwise, with one, you're saying, yes, I know. Yeah, Nicholas Pooran, definitely.
Yeah.
If KL Rahul wants to stay, yeah, maybe KL Rahul not, but yeah, maybe.
Okay.